Bobby from Ageless Chimneys, and we're back today. Originally we were doing something with pavers from Ageless Masonry, and they're also certified with chimneys and fireplaces. So on this episode of Ask the Expert, we're going to go over fireplaces. And I normally give you guys information, what I see going on, but New York State law really recommends you getting a level 2 inspection when you buy a house. Not just my inspection, which is just going to be what's visual on the fireplace and what I can see. I can't see up the chimney. So we're going to pass it over to Bobby. We're going to go over something like, how about permits? You need permits to do a chimney?
If you're going to do a fireplace, absolutely. You're basically adding a fireplace to your house. God forbid something goes wrong, burns the house down. It's not on insurance, permitted, code, big problems to the homeowner.
So I do a lot of home inspections with gas fireplaces. And I see the piping outside, and I'm like, this doesn't look proper. It doesn't look correct. And then, they go to find out when they do the title search that there's no inspection and there's no CO for a gas fireplace. Mm-hmm. So I guess with gas, you need a licensed plumber?
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Hard pipe it in. You're able to use some flexible piping to get and hook up a gas unit or gas logs once that's installed.
All right. So when you do a level 2 inspection, what do you check?
A level 2 inspection comes with a bunch of things. What really makes a level 2 inspection different from a level 1 inspection is a video camera. So we will be putting a video camera up the chimney, top to bottom, and really inspecting the flues face to face almost to see if there's any cracks, damage, separation, or anything that could cause, potential fire risks.
Right, which I can't see when I do a home inspection. So I'm doing a level 1, they're doing a level 2. Same thing when I'm doing a level 1, I'm always looking at these, the joints on the firebox, making sure that they're all sound and they're not falling apart. So a lot of times I'll see them that all these joints back here are done, they're finished. A lot of times on the metal boxes, I'll see that they're all rusted out on the bottom. So could that be changed? Could that be repaired?
Yeah, these fire brick aren't structural. They're basically made to be changed years down the line. Okay. So you can jackhammer out these fire brick or chisel them out. Mm-hmm. You can start with a new floor and then 3 walls. Mm-hmm. The back is a little bit curled to you to kind of force some heat into the room and help with the draft as a curling effect right through the damper up here.
Gotcha.
So things that you want to check is the mortar. If you have a heavily used fireplace, the mortar will deteriorate. It's natural, it will happen. Easy to change the bricks. Another thing we like to check is you have a lintel here, which will be a steel support. So usually there's a veneer on it like this. Well, sometimes the veneer kind of separates from the brick or structural chimney over years of settling. That will create almost a gap that will lead up all the way into the attic. So this little space here will create its own draft and suck smoke and pull fire up into the house. So this is definitely something we always like to check here. And this lintel and the separation will usually lead all the way around. So it's a good place to check to see if the actual structure has pulled away from the foundation. Other things that you were speaking of is the metal fireboxes. So the metal fireboxes are the heatilators. You may see them with some openings, some square screened openings on a house that you're purchasing or inspecting. And that would be to heat the air behind the metal box, and it kind of forces the air in. Unfortunately, those heatilators take a beating. They last 20 to 25 years. If you buy the salt water, even less. Right. So we take out a ton of those heatilators and replace them with the fire brick because this is going to last much longer.
Gotcha. And so we go over dampers all the time. I'm always looking at dampers, making sure that there is a damper. What do you prefer in your profession? Do you prefer one that's in here that you could open with a lever, or do you prefer one that's on the top of the chimney that you could use with a little chain that comes down to open it?
So that's a really good question. There is pros and cons to both. Okay. If you have a heavily used fireplace, there's a lot of soot on the walls. You can sweep it off, but there's a lot of soot on the walls. Now, when you close your damper here, you're essentially closing off your fireplace from your living space. Gotcha. When you have a damper on the top, and you have a humid day and there's a lot of creosote, we particularly get this from women, they smell a really strong creosote fire in their house.
Gotcha.
So that can usually be taken care of with a really good cleaning. And sometimes there's always a moisture element to the smell. It might be too much humidity in the air, or you could be getting leaks through the top of the brick. It mixes with the creosote and really gives you this really pungent fireplace odor.
Well, that happens on a really bad, humid day. If this is left open, the damper,
Yeah.
you can smell it throughout the whole house.
So the benefit of putting the damper on top, it's a seal, has a gasket, you can pull it tight. It's called an energy-saving damper. I think it does save a little bit of energy compared to the old cast iron dampers, but if I had my choice, I would prefer the old cast iron dampers.
Okay. But now also too, if you have one of those ones where you pull a chain and it opens up at top, that's not really considered a spark arrestor on top, correct?
Correct. They have combination caps that will have a cap built around that damper. And that's what you want to do. You want to spend a few extra bucks to get the spark arrestor built around the damper. Combo cap combo.
So as I'm doing my home inspections, most of the time I'll come and I'll open up, I'll take the screen off, which you have to have something in front. There is different kinds of fireproofing that has to be done around a fireplace. You can't just have a fireplace here, wood floor up against it. It has to have some kind of masonry between the box and whatever is combustible, okay? So I'll do a home inspection, there's nothing on it. And there's a wood floor right in front of it, or a laminate floor. And then I'll look inside and I'll see, all right, I can see all the creosote on the box, or I'll see as far as I could get up and I'll see the creosote. And I'm like, do you know when the last time you had this cleaned? Oh, I don't know. It's been a couple of years. What do you recommend? I recommend every year, okay? Because this is building up every year, especially if you don't buy the right wood. That's the other thing. People just go buy wood. They don't buy seasoned wood, and there's a lot of sap in the wood. What do you recommend for cleaning?
So once a year is a great idea, because something as simple as a spider getting into the chimney and creating a few spider webs, they won't burn and they'll essentially block the draft. It's like having a million little parachutes in there. Another rule of thumb is every 1 to 2 cords of wood. So if you're going to burn a cord or two a season, which is pretty average for a family household that's into fireplaces, 1 or 2 cords of wood per year is a great time or a great rule of thumb to sweep out the fireplace.
All right, sounds good. So remember, when you don't know what to look for, we're here to look for.